Hey everybody, I'm the Linux Gamer and I just played Saints Row 4. It's a third-person open-world action game developed by Volition. Saints Row 4 was released for Linux December 21st, 2015. I bought Saints Row 4 with the support of my gracious Patreon contributors. Thank you guys. Saints Row 4 sports a flamboyant, purple-clad aesthetic. The city of Steelport is totally covered in darkness, illuminated only by artificial light. Points of interest across the city are highlighted in one of two contrasting colors, red or blue. The former are hostile, and the latter are friendly. I'm not a fan of how Saints Row looks in-game. In my opinion, the character models look grotesquely disproportionate and lacking detail. Now this could be partially my fault for designing a main character who is a stocky brute. I mean, it's even to the point where when I first start the game, his misshapenness feels as though the game's resolution was set to a 4:3 aspect ratio and stretched to fit my 16:9 monitor. Similarly, I find city buildings are overly textured and lacking any three-dimensional detail. To put it simply, they feel like featureless cubes. There's also a lack of variety. Buildings are often recycled, leaving me with that distinct deja vu feeling. Visually, Saints Row 4 feels like a missed opportunity. The music featured in-game really lend credibility to the game's urban setting, and sound effects are decent, but can start to wear on your ears. Saints Row 4 is stupidly fun. I've spent way too much time just running around, super jumping and gliding. At its core, Saints Row 4 feels like a superhero simulator. You can leap tall buildings, wall jump, and glide. You've got pyrokinesis, telekinesis, ice beam, and so many more ludicrous abilities. There are story missions that can be accessed through the menus, and these do what it sounds like they progress the game's story, which I find to be a campy paint-by-numbers romp. But more importantly, the story missions grant you XP and cash. Integral to the main missions, you must take the city back from the alien occupation. You gotta summit incredibly tall alien spires, rid control points of their Zen presence, and otherwise liberate the city. Progression takes the form of three currencies: cash, XP, and data clusters. Cash lets you purchase new upgrades and abilities, like how much ammo you can carry. XP unlocks new upgrades and abilities to be purchased. And finally, data clusters may be spent on augmenting your superpowers. Littered across the map, there are hundreds of activities you can participate in. You can race around town, engage in insurance fraud, platform to your heart's content, and so much more. I mean, there's so much to this game I feel overwhelmed, honestly, and what I've talked about so far hasn't even scratched the surface. Saints Row 4 has way too much DLC. When I bought Saints Row in its initial SteamOS sale, much of its DLC came as a package deal, and there's so much here that I don't think I'll ever complete Saints Row. I have few complaints in terms of performance for Saints Row. There weren't any noticeable slowdowns in performance, even when utter and complete mayhem was being rendered on screen. Really, the only thing I can gripe about is the lengthy, about 2-minute initial load time. But after that initial load, there doesn't seem to be any others. The game runs between 30 and 60 FPS, depending on how many buildings are on screen at once, which I find to be acceptable, but I know some people say 60 frames per second or bust. Controls here are smooth and fluid. While there are some instances of odd collision detection, you truly feel superpowered when playing Saints Row. I've tried using the DualShock 4, but found the right analog stick left me wanting. The Steam controller sublimely complemented my playstyle, with minimal tweaking needed. I did enable gyro aiming, and with it I felt more capable of slaying hordes of alien scum. With the Steam controller, the only complaint I have is this game doesn't expect controller and mouse input simultaneously, so when I would be playing the game with the right pad as the mouse, the game would schizophrenically alternate between keyboard and controller prompts on screen. Saints Row 4. I mean, what else can you say, really? The game is funny, if at times juvenile. At times it's satire, and other times it's just plain fun. While I think the graphics are middling, borderline on ugly, that doesn't really matter. What matters here is how incredibly entertaining this title is. It's available for Linux through the Humble Store and Steam. Links are in the description. Have you played Saints Row 4? What do you think about it? Leave me a comment and let me know, or tweet at me at the Linux Gamer. You can also support the channel over on Patreon. Feel free to check out the rest of my channel, including my previous top 10 games of 2015. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe to see more from me, Linux Gamer. Thanks for watching.